my neck, my back. Chicken bone broth, guys. What kind of things do you think I talk about over here on Icy Melody? No, we're talking about making chicken bone broth, chicken stock. And in particular today, we'll be talking about making chicken stock using a pressure cooker. Now, I have to tell you, as a child, I was always petrified of the pressure cooker. When my mom used to cook with it, I always thought that little thing at the top is gonna fly and kill me. But it won't, and I'll show you how to use it. But first we're starting off with some chicken. These chicken necks and backs have been washed. They've been kind of dried, not really. And I'm putting them in a Dutch oven and also a pan that is safe to go in the oven. So if you have any cookware that's safe to go in the oven and the stove top, I would use those if you have them. If you don't, a cookie sheet is fine. The reason why I like using things that have this degree of flexibility is that I can deglaze the remnants from the roasting and use that fond to really help flavor the stock that I'm making later on. But again, I use a cookie sheet sometimes, so do what you can with the materials that you do have. Now I'm going to roast them. Sometimes I put a lid or a piece of foil on top, other times I do not. I usually cook it from 375 to about 410 for about an hour and 5 minutes, whatever I feel like on that particular day. So we see it's been, an hour has passed. Everything is roasted, and I'm going to put these pieces of chicken in the pot that's, from the pressure cooker. Okay. In the pan, we see there's a lot of fond there. So fond is like the dark bits that get left over when you've roasted something, roasted meat in particular. So I'm going to deglaze the pan to get all that good stuff because that's so much flavor, and that will add to our stock. I've got some white vinegar and I'm going to put a little bit on it. I don't really measure anything really. I just put a dash in and I mix up the bones because this acid, whether you use vinegar, lime juice, lemon juice, it helps to break down the collagen to really extract all the nutrients and tastes for the stock. So again, I've got my aromatics here, the basics: carrots, onions, garlic, celery, ginger. And as you can see, nothing is particularly small. You can just basically throw everything in there. Also, I added some bay leaves too. Bay leaves are always good for anything. And I think that might be parsley and thyme. Sometimes I use fresh herbs. Other times, if I haven't gone to the grocery store, I'll just use my dry herbs and spices. Right, so that's everything. You want to leave maybe about 2 inches or so from the top of the pressure cooker. And here I have the gasket. You want to make sure this is in nice and secure. This will help secure the pot in. And this here, the top, is called the jigger. You want to put it, the jigger valve, you want to put it on the thing like so. You just put it in. And now you want to close your pressure cooker. So there's only one correct way to close a pressure cooker. You'll know when you have it. So you see that red bit there? See how that's depressed, how that's lower down? That means that the pan is not under pressure, which it shouldn't be because it's on the kitchen top at that point, but now it's on the stove top. So I'm gonna bring this up to a boil. And we can see now some time has passed, that red thing is up further. That means that this is under pressure. That means you do not want to touch it. You definitely don't want to open the lid because that will be a problem. Do not open the lid at all when the pressure is on. You see the jigger is starting to move, it's starting to steam. Okay, so pressure is on. And at this point, I can lower the temperature of the oven, or the stovetop, I should say. So it was around 8, and I moved it down to about 3, 2.5. And so I typically let the pressure cooker go for like an hour and a half. And it's basically a set it and forget it type of a situation. The time has passed. I'm done cooking in the pressure cooker. I turn off the stove. I still have it on the stove top, so it's still pretty hot and it's still under pressure. As we can see, that red bit is still up. So I took it off and I put it on my countertop. And this is a pro tip for those of you who are familiar and used to using a pressure cooker. Again, you have to wait until that bit drops down. So here's a pro tip. Once you get comfortable using the pressure cooker, and this took me about a year to get comfortable to do this. So the pressure is still on, as we can see, that red bit is still up. If you get a spoon or a fork and you gently lift the jigger valve a little bit, that helps reduce the pressure. And with that, it will allow you to open it up sooner. So once it drops, like it just did, you can open up the pot. But if you're not comfortable, do not do this. It took me years to feel comfortable enough to do that. Okay, so now it's time to open up the container and see what we've got. A lot of steam. And we can see all the pieces look very soft because they've been put under a lot of pressure, and it's good to go. So there are some pieces of chicken in there, and the carrots are in there. If you have a baby, mashing up those carrots is good baby food. And even the soft chicken, if you want to like put that in a blender with some broth. Babies, when my niece was a toddler, she loved it. So it's a very good use of this, because eventually you're going to discard all the stuff, all the celery and the carrots and everything. You're going to throw it out anyway, so you might as well, use it if you could. And you see I strained it, right? And so you want to be able to strain all the stock out, because this is basically liquid gold. It's so rich, and you want to make sure you capture every drop. Okay, and at this point, you can add some spices. So sometimes if I don't know what I'm doing, I'll leave this plain and just season it up later on. I use some onion powder or garlic powder, parsley, thyme, turmeric, ginger, whatever flavors you like in your broth. I think that's paprika or cayenne pepper. So yeah, add whatever you feel is best for your flavor profile of whatever you're making. And this also tastes good if you just drink it like coffee, right? Put it in a cup. It's great on a winter day, and you just mix it up. I typically put my broth in a pot or a big container, put it in the fridge overnight, and then I separate them out. And I typically freeze my broth, or if I'm going to cook with it right away, then I'll just make whatever soup or whatever the case is. But this is how you make broth using a pressure cooker. So once again, with a pressure cooker, just to go over some of the things with that, you want to make sure that the gasket is nice and secure in the bottom part there of the lid. The jigger valve, you just want to push it in. It kind of locks in a way. Again, it's not going to be static because it does move around a lot, but you'll know when it's secure. When you put the lid on, you want to put it in so that both the handles align with each other. So there's basically only one way you can secure this. Pressure valve, pressure indicator should be at a low. If it's at a high point, that means that something is malfunctioning and you probably would want to get the pot replaced. But those are the steps. Again, when you're done cooking with it, you can just leave it on the counter for a while, or even leave it on the stove top. Eventually, the pressure will go down. Once it goes down, you can open it up. Do not open it up while the pressure is on. Also, when it's on the stove top, just don't touch it. Like, don't touch the pot at all. Just leave it alone. And then once the pressure is released, you can open up the pot. Okay, so those are my main points I want to express in this video, how to use your pressure cooker. Thank you so much for watching I See Melanie, and until next time, you have a great day. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.